Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Charlotte Silverwolves. It was an eventful season. Um, Probably one of my worst teams recently, purely by record, and yet nearly won the World Series. If we have a look at the box score, I mean, really, this was the game shut down in the seventh inning. Um, we just didn't get any hits. 3 hits for an entire 9 inning game is not enough hits. Thank God for Alejandro Rivera, or we would have been even worse off. Um, yeah. Our pitching was fine, but Masuda shit the bed, and here we are. Um, I'm so really proud of this team. I am proud of it because it wasn't the dominating team that we've had recently. Look at our team's glorious history here. 89 wins is our lowest total since 2030. So, in over 8 years, we've never had a team that bad. Now, Pythagorean theorem says we got fucked a little bit on luck, maybe so, but nonetheless, I'm proud of this team while also recognizing that we're definitely on the downswing. And it's going to take a bit of luck and a lot of talent to get us back to the promised land. It's been a while since we won the World Series. Like, I don't want to sound like a fucking, Boston fan when the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl. And like, oh my god, we're so terrible. It's been so long. We're gonna cry ourselves to sleep. Yada 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 yada. Kiss my ass, Boston. Anyways, so that is where we are. Um, we have a couple things in our favor. One of which, of course, is Sergio Zapata, who is incredible. But other than Zapata, we only really have one other top tier position player, and that's Alejandro Rivera. Everyone else ranges from really good to useful, but we don't really have that dominant core that we used to have. We're still recovering from losing Giacoletto, I think, in a lot of ways. So now our plan is to rebuild a team in a different way. Now we have two phenomenal starting pitchers. Sergio Carrillo finally got his chance and obliterated the league. Ernie Jarvis just got his bag, a bag I may regret, but nonetheless, he got his bag and looks incredible. Masuda had a pretty decent season, although he is massively overpaid. But we have two really great young pitchers. Well, Jarvis isn't that young anymore, but he certainly is. And there are more on the way, they're just really far away from the majors, which I think is probably our biggest issue, which is that most of our high ranking prospects aren't that great. Um, I feel like there's a bunch of guys. We only have one spot left on the 40 man, so I think we're gonna wait and then see who we might be able to finagle around. I'm not one to sound like this team is awful. This team is decent. It just doesn't have the second line talent that we're used to. Gunnar Henderson is declining, as one does when one gets older. We just offered him a new contract because he wanted to take a pretty major pay cut to stick around. And I don't really have a better first base option at the moment, so we're gonna have some words. Speaking of words, is Caben Kimmins good enough? I feel like if all you care about is defense, Suzuki is the right call. But we have a lot of captains, like so many captains. That is an excessive number of captains, one might say. So let's start worrying about first of all our coaching staff. We need a new team trainer. This is known. Let's get one. I should look at chemistry, shouldn't I? Our chemistry is pretty off the charts, so I don't think it's really gonna matter as long as they're not controlling. Personality. To watch all the really good trainers are all going to be controlling. It used to be a lot easier in early editions of this game to find someone who's great at everything, but I think they've done a really good job of making that less common. Jadon Hosky has a lot in his favor. However, he's not great with arm injuries, and that does concern me. You kind of want to make sure that if they're bad at preventing injuries, they're really good at fixing them. There's a lot to like about Joe Coppinger, though. Like, he is bad at preventing leg injuries, but he's good at rehabbing them. And I think that's the right choice. I think Mr. Coppinger is going to be our new team trainer. I feel pretty good about that. Let's talk about arbitration now. I'm not going to offer Dylan O'Ray or Chris Perry a new contract. I'm just not going to do it. Gunnar Henderson's already got a new contract offer. Taj Bradley does not, nor should he. Um, Sergio Carrillo wants all of the money. And right now, all of the money is too much money. I will offer him his 1 year deal, though. I will happily offer him this much. Because I want to be in a position where we can potentially make a play in free agency, and I also want to keep our eyes open for re signing Zapata. But I'll happily give him a nice 1 year deal. Jorge Milanes, this might be as good as he's ever going to get, but what he is decent. He throws a whole bunch of innings with reasonable levels of competency. I think that is worth a 1 year contract extension. Same thing for Batty. Um, 2 wins for less than 2 million is always just a good value. I mean, he wants a little bit more than that, which is fine. I think mm, there you go. I feel like Julio Mora has been given lots of chances to prove that he's actually a really good pitcher, and he just isn't doing it. I feel like I gotta move on from him. Ethan Varner is done. Um, his injury last season completely destroyed him as a viable pitcher. Um, I'm not even gonna bother trying to trade him because nobody's gonna want him withdrawn. I feel like Kurt Matthews is just destined not to have a good role on this team. I kind of want to flip him to see if anybody is interested to offer us something in exchange for him. All-time nickname, by the way. I like the nickname Vermin. We're getting some decent players here. Not maybe not excessively amazing players, but good enough that if I can get 2 or 3 of them, it's worthwhile. Nelson Delgado is not terribly fascinating. Joey Times is marginally more interesting, but he's also a lot farther away from the majors, so I don't know how I feel about that. Ron Cram isn't bad, I guess. These are just a lot of players that are all just varying degrees of meh. Not that there's anything wrong with meh, but meh might be the best we can do. Like, I know that the alternative is to just keep him for another year and just let him ride the pine, but I don't think he's got a chance to have a decent role on this club. I think his strengths are his weaknesses. He's an inoffensive hitter that's just going to vary wildly from year to year because none of his skills are all that well developed. So I think we need to get somebody a little bit with a little bit higher upside or a higher floor. Alberto Ocasio is fine. He's just not terribly thrilling. It's meh. From top to bottom, left to right, every direction, it's meh. Looking like a Juan Castellea, his advantage is I think he'd be a decent reliever because his stuff would tick up, but not enough to make that be my only return. If I look for regulars and I look for infielders, I wonder who might be on offer. Probably nothing exciting. I'm going to go for quantity over quality then. Give me a prospect package, please. As long as I get 2 yellows, I will pull the trigger. Because that's just where I am right now. If I can get 2 yellows, it's easy. I would settle for a yellow and 2 oranges. I know you don't think we get enough in return, and I respect that. But the alternative is that we just let him go in free agency, because I'm not keeping him. Any talent he may have had at one point is gone. I mean, Jorge Escobar is a really good defensive first baseman. That's not nothing. It's just not very much. Good old Damani Prezi. Eh, eh. I feel like this is the least bad option because all three of them at least could be players at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the trade. I know I got hosed on that one. Like I did not get a good value, but I also don't care. I'm gonna have to put you on the 42-man roster because of your stupid fucking contract. Okay. Varner is gone. Trotman. You're such a weird player. Like you're a genuinely weird player. Your defensive infielder, who by the way is error prone, you have no ability to take a walk. So yeah, you might run into a season where you hit 270 and you look really, really good like you did in 2036. There's a very important question, which is if I don't keep him, who's our starting shortstop? And I just don't have a ton of great options for that. Maybe there's one in free agency, but I think bare minimum we have to give him his 1 year deal. I just think that's mandatory. I'm not at all convinced, even slightly, that he is a great player, but I don't have a better alternative at the moment. So I'll go and give you a 1 year deal. We'll talk again as the season progresses. I feel like Mike Bush is such a trap kind of player. What he does, he's very good at, which is he plays pretty good center field and hits a few home runs. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's still a valuable piece. And even I think Eric Anfuso might be a little bit better, or Joey Newton might be a little bit better. I still think there's a place for Mike Bush on this team, but my problem is he wants a pretty big raise. I mean, he's going to play 400 at bats. I suppose a 1 year deal isn't totally unrealistic. I feel like Enfuso's a good choice too. I feel like we have 4 good outfielders for 3 spots. And Newton, Enfuso, Bush, and then obviously Zapata. And I don't know who the odd man out is going to be. I think we keep Bush for 1 more year. I think a 1 year contract for Bush is fairly reasonable, but I'm not going to guarantee him the starting lineup. I'm going to let chips fall where they may. There you go. All right, so that's arbitration dealt with. Now let's set up our development lab. Prince Diouf, work on your control, dear sir. Casey Choate, work on your secondary pitches, please. I think improving your movement is more important than just about anything else. Let's look at our prospects. Ernesto Olivas, you need to learn a new position, as in literally any other position, because you fucking suck as a second baseman. David Gaona just has so much upside, and he's just not even remotely close to the major leagues. Let's have you keep working on your plate discipline. Steve Pratt is gonna be fine, I think. I think let's have him start by working on his batting eye. There you go. And then Billy Pickren, work on your control, my friend. There you go. That's all set. Um, are you the guy I just traded for? Yeah, you are. I doubt anyone's gonna claim you. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get you through waivers. And then, I have a ton of players on this 40-man roster that I think I'm just gonna have to make some hard decisions about. I'm literally out of room to add players, is what's fascinating to me. Well, we're gonna lose some of these guys in free agency, so I'm not gonna overreact yet. Yeah, you are. Rodolfo Guerrero is almost certainly one of the biggest mistakes I have made. And I would be surprised if it is not number one on my list of bad decisions. Really? How are you saying he's only worth 11.8 war? Oh, I guess his injury career hasn't been that long yet. But yeah, this is still a huge, 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 huge loss. I made some good choices too. um. So I guess the question is, do we start talking about a long-term extension for Zapata? The thing is, I cannot afford to let him walk. But on the other hand, I don't feel the need to rush either because I have that extra team option. Let's wait and see what he looks like in a year or two, and then we can go from there. And then now I can slip him into the minor leagues. So that'll be good. Golden Glove awards have been announced. I doubt we're going to win many awards. I hope we get a Cy Young for Ernie Jarvis, but other than that, it's just really going to be tight. It's going to be a tight off season in a lot of ways, and also in not in other ways. Like we have money to spend. I don't think spending it intelligently is, I think, going to be the first key to us being. Okay, Carrillo stole it from Jarvis. Interesting. And it wasn't even close. That's fascinating to me. I'm sure part of it is the ERA, which looks really, really gaudy, but an ERA leader Is this just fucking the fact he won 18 games? Maybe. I'm glad we have both pictures, don't get me wrong, but I still think this is Jarvis's award. This is an outrage, but not a big one. Yes, you're quite right. Fine. What's on my shopping list? I would like a high quality middle infielder, either second base or shortstop. I would love another starting pitcher. So, in case you're wondering what happened with Masuda, his contract is on auto renew because he doesn't have enough time in the major leagues. So, even though even though he actually opted out of his contract, he's still stuck with me. So that was maybe silly on his part. When's Masuda coming back? Oh, he'll be back very soon. Yeah, like another starting pitcher, I think we need to consider upgrading the bullpen a little bit. I just need great players. And I'm willing to pay for them if they fit both our timetable and our proposals. Mike Anderson is fine. I'm nothing against Mike Anderson. I like Chris Burkett. I don't like Juan Carmona. If you want to make Anderson for Carmona, we have a deal. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not going to give you a good prospect for him. I just don't think he's that valuable. I've got lots of players with his skill set, so to me, he is not terribly useful. All right, so international free agents, of course, major league free agents. All right, let's kick the tires on some free agents. Interesting. I don't think I can. Like, I don't even think that's. I don't think he's on my radar. I want him to know that we're interested, so I will offer him a 3-year deal with 2 team options, and I will offer him 20 million a year. Not even 20 million. That seems like very silly. How about I offer you 15 million? And then I will let it ramp up if you can stay healthy. He's gonna tell me no. This is about just him remembering that I offered him something. All right, Chris Cram. I'm not paying $10 million for reliever. I refuse. You can't make me do it. Greg Payne is a really good pitcher, but I don't think he's worth what he's asking. Mm, are there any premium hitters available in this class? Besides Giacoletto, obviously. Jaden Boxey is too weird. He's got way too weird an offensive profile that I don't think his career is going to go very well. Corbin Carroll is fine, but $14 million for a player that may not even play most of the games just seems like this is not a great free agent class, is what I keep coming back to. Jason Churio's not bad, but yeah, this is just not a good free agent class, which is unfortunate. Dave Crawford's decent. but I need more than decent if I'm gonna back the truck up for somebody. If I sort by potential, what are we looking at here? Okay, if Bryce Eldridge wants literally nothing, I will offer him a minor league deal. Done. I feel like we can splurge a little bit on a quality reliever as long as we don't pay too much for them. And it's got to be somebody that's got a really good track record. Pat McCauley is a pretty decent pitcher. I think adding him makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and make that happen. I'll happily pay $1 million for that. We could bring back old friend Joe Welch, but not for the amount of money he wants. I'm not going to pay that much money to a guy that's not even going to fucking pitch. Don't be stupid. Try not to be stupid all your life. Josh Bolton is just not worth 20 million to me. He just isn't. I'm sorry, man. Even a guy like Gruters wants 14 million, and I'm just at the point where just none of these guys appeal to me. Jonathan Clapp. Greg Payne is decent, but again, I just can't get past this idea that these guys think they're worth 20 plus million when they're not really dominant at anything. Yuri Perez will not be ready by opening day, so investing in him is kind of a mistake. Um, there's just nothing here. I'll offer Tanner Bibby a minor league deal. I don't think he's going to be all that helpful, but we can at least offer him a chance. This is really unfortunate. There's just like nothing here this season. There's just nothing good unless I'm willing to back up and pay a lot of money for it, and I just don't think that's very sensible. Like I might be willing to sign Jacques Leto. He's maybe the only player here that I could see where I'm like, yeah, he's an upgrade. Bob Specht is a good defender, and he's got maybe a bat in there somewhere. Um, I guess there's value in signing him potentially. Sure. Alex Bierman is okay. He's just not thrilling. Oh, Bob Burdette. I didn't look at you. Because your only value is defensive. You can't really hit well enough to justify your salary. Bob Specht. Oh no, I just offered him a contract, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Mm. There's a lot to like about Ronnie Locke. I like his bat quite a bit, but I don't think I'd like spending a lot of money and losing a draft pick for something that's fragile. Dan McLean just doesn't look a good risk either. Eh. These injury histories are very sussy. I'm just not seeing a single player that moves the needle. Or there is Nacho Alvarez Jr., but I think we pass on him too. Eh, why would I send $20 million for a guy that hasn't even broken 2 WAR in a while? That's just not smart. It's not very bright. Daniel Bernal, I just don't have a role for him. It's not that I want to run it back, it's that all the upgrade options are just not upgrades. Or they're side grades at the very best. If I look at infielders, and I sort by fielding a shortstop, we've got choices here. Terrell Ice. Terrell Ice is a really fascinating player. Like, I don't know what kind of future he's got, given his weird offensive skill set. But I'm willing to at least entertain the option of giving him some spring training reps. So you know what? Sure, let's throw some money at him. Wayne the Edgelord Edgson cost me literally no money. No money is a good amount of money to cost. And what about second baseman? What about second baseman? I just feel like Ronnie Locke is a trap. I feel like he's a trap. He's a very good player who keeps getting injured. If I wanted that, I would just sign Giacoletto. Wait, who's this guy? Interesting. Oh, fascinating. That is a lengthy injury history, I'm not gonna lie. He just wants a lot of money, and I'm just not willing to give it to him. Not when he's got that kind of injury history. Rather the devil I know. Joe Leonard is thoroughly unremarkable and not worth our time. I'm not bringing back Dylan O'Ray. We offered Troll Ice a contract. Schwakazi? No. I was briefly interested in him, very briefly. What if Napier Rosario's still hanging out around here somewhere? Wouldn't that be funny if he was? I would give a light chortle, a respectful chortle. Luis Delgado's not a second baseman. That's my only objection to him, is he's not a second baseman. Are there any pitchers? No, not ones that are good at fucking playing second base. There are pitchers, it just seems like they're all super expensive for what they're actually promising to deliver. Okay, 2.4 million to try to give Paul Skeens a comeback, I think is highly worthwhile. I want a 3-year deal with 2 of them being team options. That is my price. I'll even give you 500 grand. Because I'm basically paying for your rehab and paying for you to have a shot to reestablish your value. That's it. I see no other pictures here that are worth getting excited about. Like I like Josh Bolton slightly more. Actually, Greg Payne slightly more. Greg Payne is wanting a lot of money. Yeah. Mm. I just feel like there's so much risk offering him a big sack of cash, and also could cost you signing Carrillo or Zapata. Both of them, I think, are actually both better and more suitable. If I could get him to take like a 3 or 4 year deal with a couple of team options, I would consider this. But that's not what he wants. He wants his big time contract. What if I just gave you the 3 year option without the opt out? With a team option on year two. How does that grab you? No. I'll see if you come back to me, but I'm not seeing a future where I am willing to spend that much money for him. Eh. No, I'm not gonna give up a draft pick for that. That's stupid. Yeah, you're dead on arrival. All right, I think that's gonna do me for free agency so far. Just a disappointing free agent class. There's not a whole lot I have to address that. I mean, I guess the trade market is the other place we can upgrade because I can take on money. Let's cast our ballot, shall we? We'll go for Raphael Devers. I see no reason why I wouldn't. I'll go for a bogey, although I think he is screwed. 200 wins is actually pretty impressive at this point. I'll vote for Flagro Jr. He seems like a pretty obvious shoe in to me, but then again, I thought the same thing about all three other people. Michael Harris is another obvious choice. Frankie and Machado. I will vote for Shane McClanahan. And Aaron Knowles. Even though I know I'm wasting my time there. I know he's just not going to make it. Poor Jose Ramirez and Adley Rutschman. Corey Seager. I'm really just picking names kind of out of a hat at this point. There's not very many here that I think are great candidates. If I were to guess, Michael Harris sails in pretty easily. And I think Vlad Guerrero has a pretty damn good shot too. But then I thought that about Xander Bogarts, and he's just stuck for reasons that I don't fully grasp. Unless it's just his lack of hardware, because he's definitely been one of the better shortstops in Major League history. But Yamamoto's got a decent chance too. Olivas, you dumb motherfucker. Fine. Hey, Quadir Blyden, work on your. Oh, we do have Luis Sterling. Yeah, work on your batting eye, my guy. Or Jim Linden could also work on his batting eye. Or you could learn a new position. I'd love to see Jocolito come home. I think that would be a pretty big upgrade for us this offseason. But only if it's at the right price. I think that's got to be my key here. is I can't sacrifice my financial flexibility for somebody that doesn't necessarily strike me as, yes, he's an amazing player and I want to give him all of the money. Is that Dan Reeves? Tim Reeves. Hmm. I mean, I wouldn't have paid that much money for him, but you do you, man. Got a bunch of minor league deals here. The Red Sox are trying to sign him. $160 million. Yeah, they're good Grooters. I'm fine with that. Now, are there any players here that are fascinating enough that I want to put them on the 40 man? I feel like Gavarette is a reasonable choice, potentially. Maybe. I think John Tata is a good choice. I will go and add him to the 40 man. I'll also add Gavarette, Salvato, and Kimmins. And then the rest of these guys, I just don't care. Somebody wants to grab Bryce Eldridge, even though, like, he doesn't really have much in the tank, then that's their prerogative. I feel like we're asking an awful lot of this current team, where we're basically either asking players to have a career year or to rebound very quickly. And I don't think that's realistic, but I also don't have another option. Like, I don't see a universe in which I just get this random awesomeness that completely changes my life. Someone's gonna take Eldridge. I lost Bob Specht. I actually kind of wanted to keep him. Not this guy. He's not bad. Um, I feel like I can't just I just can't keep bringing in first baseman to get a try. But I think it's interesting enough that I think I will take Mr. Blevins here and see what he could accomplish. I think Lazaro Carvajal is an interesting choice just because he throws so hard. I think he's worthy of a potential 40 man spot. You got to get what you can get where you can get it, right? I think Chris Hacker's got a ton of upside as well. Let's hack into it. And then I want at least one infielder to have, um, especially they can play. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with you. Only plays first. Plays second, third, or short, but he's never going to hit in the major leagues. I don't think. Plays second and third with some skill. If I look at shortstop, Yeah, Norm Gross sucks. I like Juan Herrera's defense, but he's never going to hit either. And I'm tired of getting infielders that can't hit. I just want hitters who can play the field. Is that too much to ask? Obviously, the answer to that is yes. No, I feel like if your only skill is getting on base, that your time is past. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and end the Rule 5. Who's on the trade block? I feel like that's a mistake. You're all wrecked. Brittany Harris is pretty decent, actually. But not a good fit. I think we just hang on to our shit. And then see if we get closer to the trade deadline this year, see if there's a piece. Nice. Sorry if y'all can hear that. It sounds like someone's doing yard work. I was gonna send you both to the minors, dude. Oh, did you both get major league contracts out of me? Yeah, you did. Okay. Who are the least quality players on here? I think it's gonna be Suzuki and Cooksey are the two that I'm going to waive to make room for you both. And then give me Macaulay and Skeens. Oh, Houston ended up getting Chocolatto. Okay. Yeah, you're learning first base. If you can be decent at first base, that's going to significantly expand your chance of being a great player. Jim, let's have you work on your defense, I guess. Which one did he get? He got a lot of money. I think it's very bold of you to give him that much money. I wish him the best. I truly do, but I think you're gonna regret it sooner rather than later. Like, here's the thing: as long as he plays at a high level, I think he's got a really good chance of making the Hall of Fame. But that's a big if. He has to stay healthy and he has to perform, and I don't think both those things are guaranteed. I don't think either of those things is guaranteed. I think if he's healthy, he's going to be a big contributor. But that's a lot. Now, look, I read part of my issue is I'm hoping I'm not I am not adjusting my expectations to the actual players that are available to me. I think you have to take the hand you're dealt and make a bold move sometimes. Juan Ospina is actually pretty solid. I think Sergio Bello um, has some upside, but it's really far away. This is a good deal to me. Done. I think Ospina represents a really nice reliever that I'd like to have on our team. Um, Let me go ahead and waive LeCourcier. I just don't think he has anything to offer us. And then Ospina gets put on the 40 man. That's low key a pretty solid move. We had a nice pitcher for two marginal dudes. Oh, I didn't even see Classe was available. I probably would have voted for him if I'd noticed him. Michael Harris, Rafael Devers, and Emmanuel Classe. Okay. Nice. I really need to see one or two of my minor leaguers step up this season. I need to see one or two of them just take a step forward and be worthy of what you should be. Got 5.23 million. It is rare to see a player that's this good all around, even if he won't stick in center field. He actually could stick in center field. That is true. I wish I could find those an infielder though. That was actually a really good infielder. That's the problem though, is they're all like first basemen. I think Betancourt is the best choice here. I think he has the most deep and well-rounded offensive skill set. So let's make it happen. Friend, I will offer you my cap. I don't literally mean my hat, but if you want that too, I will hand it to you. I'll be like, here's a baseball hat that you can wear for your very own. He's like, oh, Dip, what a great hat. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was never going to be able to compete with this because they can offer him max cap and I can't. Um, Ledesma's kind of dumb. Escobar is a really good pitcher. Um, with a lot of pitches, he works hard. He's he's a pretty good choice if I'm wanting a pitcher. Um, I don't know that I could let players of the offensive portfolio, let's say like Rangel here, go. But maybe I just get another dominating pitcher. Maybe that's the answer. Could be the answer. Really, Escobar? Jeez, like every good player is just like, nope, I can get more money from someone else with the cap. Well, of course you can. Juan Basurto is a really good player, but he doesn't have quite the raw upside of an Escobar or a Rangel. Let me go for Escobar. No, wait, isn't Escobar dumb as a post? He's smart, but doesn't work very hard. Let's try for Basurto. I just like having high character guys that are likely to turn out the way that we expect. I think that's better than just getting raw upside and hoping for the best. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. Maybe I'm just being silly and letting myself get tricked. But I don't think I am. We got Basurto. That's good. Player development, it's almost always going to be down. Although Jesus Archuleta picking up some velocity is a pretty nice feature of this offseason. I gotta say, I'm a fan of players just like taking a step forward in the offseason. It shows that they're working hard. I think for the first time in a while, I just feel like there's so many open spots and so many chances for players that really work hard to get a chance to be special. I truly believe that. I truly believe that there's going to be a chance for players that had smaller roles in the past to have a bigger role now, and show what they're able to accomplish. Bryce Eldridge, Hastinger, Fournier, Ferriol, Juan Santana, uh, Dahlberg, Pickren, Gauna, Page, Son of Edge, Terrell Ice. There you go. That seems pretty good. That's a lot of people for us to process through, so we'll see who gets to make the team and who doesn't. Jeff actually got worse at control. That's awesome. I'd love to see that. Damn, Gauna did really, really well. It's not going to take much for him to get some serious consideration for the major leagues. Maybe not this season, but certainly next season. That's pretty massive. Oh, is anybody still out? Like injured? No, we're all healthy for the moment. For the moment. Hmm. Skeens, you had a chance, my friend. You still might. Like, the thing about getting your arm injured now is that there's still a chance that you can recover. But we certainly can't assume that he's going to come back and be all that great, especially given his age. Sean Lesko's throwing harder. Brad Page is throwing harder. John Tata is pitching better. Geoff got worse. Santana got better. Kimmins got better. Mitch Couples got better. Guyona is getting better, which is pretty great. Gavarette is getting better. Nice. Romich and Bennett are improving. Pratt's improving. Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, here's the thing: John Thompson's got a real good chance to start the year in the minor leagues anyway. It's going to depend a lot on how everything shakes out. I know we've lost like a lot of games during spring training. I don't care, but that is an interesting fact. All right, I have 25 pitchers. Let's get down to no more than 13. Minors, 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 minors. So I gotta send 6 more pitchers off. Oof. I feel like Casey Choate has to stay in the major leagues this year. I feel like he has to. I know he hasn't had a lot of time in AAA, but I think he's got to just figure it out. Kirby to the minors, Thompson to the IL. I feel like Carvajal and Hacker both have to return to their home teams because I just don't have the space on the roster. 2 more pitchers still got to go. Although we have Bryce Eldridge, who's actually a hitter, so Eldridge doesn't really count. And I think I'm going to try to trade Colton Hartman. I just don't think he's got anything left. How much money is he earning? Eh, would you take a demotion? Probably not. I'll send on Coronado then. No, Coronado actually had a good year last year. I don't want to punish a player that actually performed well. I want to keep Macaulay and Ospina because they're both pretty solid. I guess Tata is the next guy to give a little bit more of an extended audition in the minors. That gets you down to 14 pitches, which is really 13 because Eldridge doesn't count. But I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. Um, position players. I have 4 catchers. Um, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be either Soto or Kimmins, and I think it's gonna be Kimmins. I think Kimmins is a very well-rounded offensive player with enough glove that I think he's going to be a useful backup. So I think it's going to be Kimmins' time to shine. Um, Ormerod to the minors, Edgson and Ice to the minors, Salazar to the minors. I want to keep Couples because he does play second base and shortstop so well. Um, Gaona to the minors, Gavaret and Salvato to the minors, Zetino to the minors. Eldridge might make the team actually, depending on other things. Christinel and Fournier. They can do 6 outfielders. I cannot afford to carry 6. So that means Eldridge goes back to the minors. We've got to get rid of 2 position players. I feel like Dorsey can probably go. No, I like Dorsey. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get him through waivers if we can get lucky. And then I just don't think people are going to be beating down my door to claim JD Moore, so I think I'm going to try to get him through the minors as well. Francis Marion. Oh, wait, sorry, not that Swamp Fox. I don't know if we're going to be any better this season. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Archuleta coming out of nowhere to be a reasonable starting pitcher is really nice, and it's definitely going to help. I just don't think it's going to help enough. I truly don't think it's going to be enough. Is David Guiona not even in the top 10 prospects anymore? That seems mean. It's 18th. Okay. I have the number 7 minor league system, which for a team that's been so near the top for so long is pretty impressive. It's pretty nice. So we've got baseball players now. Real life baseball players. I don't know how I feel about Albert Morales being our leadoff guy. I'd almost rather it be Henderson. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. This is just such a deeply weird lineup where I just have so many question marks. Um, like this is a team where Dusty Hackett and Prince Trotman get to make it because I just don't have anybody any better. I think our team's hidden strength is our bullpen. I think that's going to be a huge advantage if we can capitalize on it because it's just so deep. Like Nate Quinn is fantastic, but there's a lot of great arms supporting him as well. Ospina and McCauley were really nice gets and really make our bullpen that much stronger, in my opinion. We're gonna sink or swim on this lineup. And while I think there's some talented players here that can make big things happen, I am deeply concerned about our long-term sustainability. Aguilera is fine. Henderson is fine. Zapata is amazing. And Fuso might be special. I don't know yet. But we don't really have the real top line hitters that are just ready to take over a season. Maybe we will be someday. And I really question why we're playing Morales over Bush, but I'm not going to complain too much because I do think Morales does have some upside to him. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens with this lineup. It could be. I think average is what we're hoping for. I think if we can end up finishing 7th or 8th in the league in runs scored, I think we're going to be off to a good start. And I do think Zapata could make everything better. And let's not forget Alejandro Rivera, who's had a really good season as well. So, I think the key is going to be seeing if Gaona can finally make some noise in the minors this year. I think he's been around forever, and he's just now getting out of rookie league, which is really upsetting to me. He should be playing every single day, and that they would bench him is just ludicrous to me. But that is where we are right now. An awful lot is riding on 2 left arms of Jarvis and Carrillo. If they're both outstanding again, we can be super competitive. Masuda can just deliver a better season. That would be nice. Archuleta can take his newfound fastball and turn into something special. Would love to see that. Josh Batty just continues to, I guess, Batty things. That mustache is incredible. That's a top tier mustache. I love to see it. But yeah, is it the playoff team? Probably. Is this a World Series team? Eh, I think we'll be lucky to win 90 games this year, and I think 90 is on the higher end of what we could expect. Um, I think mostly because there's just so much variance in this lineup. If everybody clicks, this could be a really good lineup. The problem is there's only two outstanding offensive talents in this lineup right now, which are Zapata and Aguilera. And for Aguilera, it's mostly because he's a catcher. Like everybody here could have a good season, a great season, or a terrible season, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Actually, I'd be very surprised if Dusty Hackett had a good season. I just think too much of his value comes from his defense that I don't see him becoming a good hitter. But who knows? Traum and I have a little bit more expectation for being able to deliver to hit baseballs with some level of authority. But that is going to end our episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. You can comment down below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.